Hey guys, Peter here. Welcome to my investment portfolio update for August 2022. I started these investment updates all the way back in May in order to give you guys a real life example of how someone could go about constructing their own investment portfolio by following specific investment strategies. Now, just remember that I'm a vet, not a financial advisor or an asset manager. So the information that I share with you guys are based on my own research and experience and should therefore not be considered as financial advice, as you would know, what works for one person may not work for everyone, as we all have our own risk appetites and investment time horizons. With that said, I do share many investment tips and nuggets that I've kind of learned along the way with these updates. So I am confident that you would at least find some value if you follow along in this series. Now, I'm sure that you are all aware that the markets are still suffering, with the S&P 500 down more than 15% since its all-time high in the beginning of the year. Central banks all over the world continue to increase the interest rates in order to try and bring down runaway inflation caused by the after effects of the pandemic. This causes stuff, especially debt, to become more expensive, therefore leaving people with less discretionary money available to invest. Some people also need to withdraw some of the investments just in order to survive. And when we combine the reality where less money enters the market and more money leaves the market, we are essentially left with less money in the market overall. This causes the share prices of many companies to drop, and those who are most severely affected by this phenomenon are usually growth stocks and crypto. So if your share and crypto portfolio is still looking bleak, then that's okay. Don't stress too much. The whole market is suffering, not just you. So this should at least provide some comfort to this rather bleak situation. The worst thing that you can do now is to panic sell. So unless you have a really good reason to sell, rather just continue to invest as usual, as the sun will shine again. Alright, so this month I invested a total of 8,500 Rand, with 1,000 Rand going into my individual JSE local listed shares portfolio, 2,500 Rand going into my passively managed tax-free savings account, 2,000 Rand going into my US offshore listed shares portfolio, 500 Rand into my Easy Property portfolio, 1,000 Rand into crypto, 500 Rand into my passively managed retirement annuity, 500 Rand into my actively managed retirement annuity, and 500 Rand into my actively managed tax-free savings account, and I will go through each one of these during the course of this video. Right, so let's start with my local shares portfolio, for which I use my EasyEquities ZAR account. At the end of August 2022, I had a portfolio value of 10,572 Rand with a profit of 9% or 793 Rand. I owned 13 individual stocks, including African Rainbow Capital, British American Tobacco, Capitec, MTN, Naspers, Prosus, Purple Group, Renogen, Sasol, Shoprite, Sibanye Stillwater, Transaction Capital, and Tsogo Sun Hotels. My best performing stock this far is Naspers with a profit of 40.9%, and my worst performing stock is Purple Group with a loss of 8.7%. Now, if you watched my June portfolio update video, you would know that I initially owned way too many stocks and did not really know what I was doing. I sold a bunch of them in an attempt to cut down on all the lemons, and every month I now try to learn as much as I can about how to value a company and how to become a better individual stock picker. I am still a firm believer that 99% of investors would be better off by just buying well-diversified ETFs, but for the purpose of this series on YouTube, I will try my hand at picking individual stocks, as my analytical brain actually do find it quite fun. So even though I do not want to own a gazillion different individual stocks, I still need to try and diversify my individual stock portfolio across different sectors in order to spread my risk. I therefore looked at what the typical spread between the 10 different sectors are in a typical large cap index, such as the top 40 and top 50, and I found that about 2/3 of the large cap companies come from the basic materials, financials, and consumer discretionary sectors, which makes sense as South Africa is a very resource-rich country. I also realized that I prefer the stability that larger companies bring, so I will only be focusing on the mid and large cap companies on the JSE for the most part. I therefore listed all the companies that has a market cap of above 25 billion rand, which is about 60 companies, and then I categorized them under each sector, ranking them by market cap. The idea behind this is to compile a stock portfolio that is more or less in line with the ratios of the top 40 index. Ideally, I would want to have one stock from each sector, but it won't really make much sense if I, for example, own 5 stocks from the energy sector if it only makes up 0.8% of the top 40 index. Verstaan? So after this, I went onto the Simply Wall Street website to read through their analysis on each stock, looking at the PE ratios, discounted forward cash flow models, estimated future earnings, as well as a bunch of other things. Yes, I spent a whole Saturday doing this. So after a long day and a quick nap, I decided on the following stocks. For the basic material sector, I chose Sasol, Sibanye-Stillwater, and Northern Platinum. For the financial sector, I chose Standard Bank, Capitec, Discovery, and Transaction Capital. For consumer discretionary, I chose Richmond. For technology, I chose Naspers and Process. For consumer staples, I chose British American Tobacco, Shoprite, and Spar. For telecommunications, I chose MTN. And for healthcare, I chose Aspen Pharmaceuticals. Now, although I already owned most of these stocks, I wasn't quite there yet. I therefore decided to sell off Renigen and Tsogosan Hotels as they did not really meet my criteria anymore. African Rainbow Capital and Purple Group are both valued under 25 billion rand, but because I believe in the innovation that Time Bank and EasyEquities has brought to the markets, I will hold on to them for now. So I bought 500 rand worth of shares in Standard Bank, Discovery, Spar, and Richmond, and I also invested 245 rand into MTN this month, as I believe that it is a great company that is currently a little bit undervalued. So yeah, this brings my local share portfolio to 15 individual stocks. I am planning on investing another 500 rand into Northern Platinum and Aspen Pharmaceuticals next month when I have another 1000 rand available to invest. And hopefully from here onwards, I will just continue to invest more money into the shares that I currently own, as I'm quite happy with the companies that I chose, and I do believe that they now provide enough diversification to make for a strong portfolio. But yeah, that's just me. Why don't you let me know down in the comments what you think about my strategy? Okay, then moving on to my passively managed tax-free savings account, which I also have with EasyEquities. At the end of August 2022, my portfolio balance was 35,960 rand with a loss of 0.27% or 93 rand. I currently own 4 ETFs in my tax-free savings account: the Core Shares Total World, Satrix 40, Satrix Property, and Signia Global Property. After I did a ton of research on what the most optimal allocation for tax-free savings account is when taking both different assets and the tax savings into account, I decided on a split between 40% local equity, 40% offshore equity, 10% local property, and 10% offshore property, and I explain my exact reasoning behind this decision in this video over here if you want to go and check it out. My allocation so far was 35.4% offshore equity using the Core Shares Total World ETF, 37.6% local equity using the Satrix 40 ETF, 18.8% local property using the Satrix Property ETF, and 8.2% offshore property using the Signia Global Property ETF. So in order to get closer to that 40-40-10-10 split, I invested 1,000 rand into the Core Shares Total World ETF and 1,500 rand into the Signia Global Property ETF, which now brought my allocation to 35.7% offshore equity, 35.2% local equity, 17.4% local property, and 11.7% offshore property. As you can see, I will now need to invest more towards my equity funds in order to get my ratios closer to my desired allocation. My Easy Properties accounts value is currently at 2,025 Rand with a profit of 3.2% or 32 Rand. I currently own 2 properties, the Reed and Capital on Bath, and I'm still waiting for the Black Brick Santon 2 sale to go through. I invested another 500 Rand into the Fynbos property, which is this weird ass Tarzan biophilic jungle building that they are planning on developing in Cape Town. My property portfolio is still relatively small, but I will continue to invest at least 500 Rand every single month into whatever property is available in order to later hopefully build up a lekker passive stream of income once the rental yields start paying out. Then moving on to my offshore investments, my US individual stock portfolio, which I also have with EasyEquities, has a current value of $3,354 with a loss of 1.5% or $49. I currently own 8 individual US stocks, which include Google, Amazon, Apple, Berkshire Hathaway, Meta, Microsoft, Tesla, and Twitter, as well as 2 ETFs, which include the Vanguard S&P 500 and the Vanguard FTSE Emerging Markets ETF. My best performing US stock up until this stage is Tesla with a profit of 24.8%, and my worst performing US stock is Meta with a loss of 2.9%. My strategy with my US individual stock portfolio is just to stick with the strong tech-focused large cap growth stocks and not to get carried away with the devious promises of small cap stocks that may or may not go to the moon. I have fallen for these in the past and I have learned my lesson. I do, however, want to have some exposure to the crypto market, as I personally have a strong conviction that blockchain technology will eventually infiltrate and become a very necessary part of our lives in the near future. But instead of gambling on speculative stocks like Coinbase, I would rather just focus on strong companies that has a special interest in the crypto world, such as Meta and Nvidia, but whose business models are also focused on other industries that will help to keep them afloat during these volatile times that crypto tends to go through. So I added Nvidia to my portfolio by investing $80 into it, and then I also invested another $20 into Meta and $20 into Google. I ideally want to keep the amount of stocks in this portfolio below 10, so I basically now only have space for one more, so I will have to choose wisely. Next up is my passively managed offshore ETF portfolio, which I have with Interactive Brokers. My current portfolio balance is $1,670 with a loss of 15.1% or $275. My holdings are split between the Irish domiciled VWRA and EIMI ETFs, which tracks the whole world's economy as well as the emerging markets respectively. I haven't added anything to this portfolio in over 8 months, and I contributed most of these funds end of last year when the markets were right at the peak, so I'm not really expecting this portfolio to recover soon, but I will just wait it out regardless and by no means panic sell. Right, then moving on to my crypto portfolio. I bought 500 Rand worth of Bitcoin from the easycrypto.com platform, which I transferred directly to my Bitcoin Sparrow software wallet. I also invested another 500 Rand into the EC10 token on the easycrypto.co.za platform, bringing my total portfolio value to 6,040 Rand with a profit of 9.8% or 540 Rand. Now guys, although both these platforms have a very similar name, there is a huge difference as to what types of services both these platforms provide. EasyCrypto.com allows you to buy over 160 different individual crypto coins, which you then directly move to a crypto wallet, whilst with easycrypto.co.za, you can only buy 17 crypto coins, but you cannot physically withdraw them to a wallet. You will have to convert them back to rands if you want to sell them off. I personally use both these platforms as they both provide unique features, and if you want to see a more in-depth comparison on which platform are the cheapest to buy crypto in South Africa, then make sure to stay tuned, because next week I will bring out a video where I compare easycrypto.com, Luno, Revex, Valar and Altcoin Trader with each other, and it's gonna be a good one. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet already. Okay, with Revex, I did not deposit any money, but I did receive 600 Rand worth of Bitcoin in referral money, which I redeemed, therefore bringing my total portfolio value to 9,931 Rand with a loss of 29.5% or 4,160 Rand. My Revex portfolio is split almost equally between Bitcoin and the top 10 equal weighted Revex bundle. Then with Luno, I also did not deposit any money this month, so my current portfolio is worth 2,620 Rand with a loss of 44% or 3,640 Rand. Then lastly, looking at my passively managed retirement annuity, which is invested in the Signia Skeleton Balanced 70 Fund, my portfolio value is currently 28,137 Rand with a loss of 0.58% or 165 Rand. I contribute at least 500 Rand per month into this RA, which is basically the minimum to keep the debit orders going, and once I have more than 5,000 Rand available, I will make lump sum contributions as well. Alright, so this brings my total passive investment portfolio balance at the end of August 2022 to 180,143 Rand, which consists of 10,572 Rand of individual local shares, $1,514 of individual US shares, 64,097 Rand of local ETFs and unit trusts, $3,948 of offshore ETFs, 2,025 Rand of local property, and 19,143 Rand of crypto. And if we then convert these into percentages, my portfolio is currently split between 68.3% ETFs and unit trusts, 20% individual shares, 10.6% crypto, and 1.1% property. Now, I ideally want to have at least 70% of my portfolio in broad market ETFs and unit trusts, so I will try and make lump sum contributions to my passively managed RA in the near future if my funds will allow it. I also mentioned in the beginning of the video that I contributed 500 Rand to both my actively managed tax-free savings account and my actively managed retirement annuity, which I both have with PPS, and this is basically just to keep the debit orders going. I explained exactly why I still decided to keep my actively managed funds in my previous update video, so if you're interested in that, then make sure to go check it out. So there you have it. Although the markets are still down, it is important to consistently invest every single month, as now is still a great time to buy ETFs and shares at a massive discount. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and if there are any topics or ideas that I discussed in this video that you guys want me to cover more in detail in future videos, then also please let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching and have a lekker one. Cheers!